it's just wild, man, the way the world is right now. Like I don't think these kids that are, most of the time discovering us through Iris, and then making their way back.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think they listen to this music like it's their dad's music, like we did, like
right.
Bill Haley and the Comets sounded like my
Totally.
dad's music. Yeah,
Right.
like I don't think kids hear it that way right now.
I don't either, and I think that's
So,
really fucking cool.
Hey there, music lovers. Welcome to Why Music Matters, a podcast where we examine the power and influence that music can wield in our lives. I'm your host, Jeff Miers. On today's episode, we're celebrating the Goo Goo Dolls, and in particular, the 30th anniversary of their mainstream breakthrough album, A Boy Named Goo. Though the band had already been around for a decade by the time they released this album, which would go on to reach double platinum sales status, A Boy Named Goo pushed the band over the edge, largely on the strength of the timeless hit, Name. This summer, the Goo Goo Dolls are on the road, co-headlining the Summer Anthem Tour alongside Dashboard Confessional. That tour hits KeyBank Center in Buffalo on August 9th, nearly 30 years after the Goos played the very first show in what was then known as Marine Midland Arena on September 21st, 1996. That was a crazy show. 21 songs. Felt like a homecoming party. If you were there, you probably remember it. I caught up with Goo's co-founder and bassist Robby Takac from the road a few days into the Summer Anthem Tour. And we talked about A Boy Named Goo, the new generation of Goo Goo Dolls fans who discovered the band through social media outlets, the level of excitement surrounding this summer's shows, his upcoming Music is Art Festival, which takes place in and around the Terminal B Amphitheater on Buffalo's Outer Harbor on Saturday, September 20. And the whole long, strange, and largely wonderful trip that has led the Goo Goo Dolls from the stages of Buffalo clubs to the arenas of the world. Welcome back to Why Music Matters, Robby Takac.
Hey, brother.
how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Man, it's good to see you too. Been a minute.
I know. I'm in Dallas Fort Worth today.
Okay, I thought you were in Arizona.
No, we flew into here yesterday, actually. Got a cup of tea, all set.
Good to go. Thanks, brother. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, man, of course.
How are the first two nights? Two nights? Couple nights?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, we're still getting our footing a little bit,
Yeah,
as always. I mean, we didn't really stop this time. Usually we take some time off between tours and stuff, but we planned on taking most of the year off last year and ended up going to Australia and Africa and Aruba to play and
it's awesome.
did a ton of dates all over the states. Maybe half of them were sort of privates and stuff,
Yeah.
like not like public shows and stuff. So yeah, so we were really busy.
So the band's tight. It wasn't like,
Yeah, but now it's like sliding into trying to kind of do a new show, like you sort of get into the habit of sort of doing the same show for a while. So we're,
Totally.
kind of making our way into, adding some new songs into the set and, got some new, got some new, some cool new lights and, you
Awesome.
know,
New toys, dude.
yeah.
It keeps it fresh. Oh, and also a new single.
Yeah. New single that's out.
It's pretty killer, man.
Yeah, it's we and personally I think there's even better songs on the record which will be coming out soon. That's a great song, but I think there's some songs I'm more excited about actually that are coming out uh soon too. It's we didn't like these days you go in, it's like the myth of the 40-minute album, like has sort of gone by the wayside,
Yeah.
these days. And, you know, or should I say the legend of the 40
Yeah.
minute album.
Yeah. The legend. Yeah. It's not a
Yeah, yeah,
myth.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think, we finished 7 songs and we were like, should we put them out? And we're like, yeah, that's our record, so yeah, so it's a little different, it's a little short. I think we probably would have put out more if we had the time, but we got 43 shows to do, so
Yeah. You're a little busy. But, think about it, man. That's a single record, right? It's
yeah, yeah,
18
yeah.
minutes aside or whatever.
Hmm,
It
hmm.
worked for us when we were kids, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it all working with Greg?
Yeah,
Or,
oh, yeah. One of them we recorded a little earlier, that Run All Night
yeah.
track that we had released as a single, that's on there as well. So, but yeah, man, it's a cool record. It's got a bunch of cool songs on
I'm
it,
psyched,
and
dude.
yeah, we played a couple of them live already, actually.
So
Yeah.
what's the response? I mean, the single's out, right? And it's definitely an earworm. So I mean, people hear it once, they're gonna
Yeah,
remember it.
yeah, yeah. People seem to like it.
It's cool.
You get your haters, but you got your
Oh,
lovers too. You got your lovers too. That's what balances life out.
yeah, that's kind of yeah. There you go, America 2025. When is the full album dropping?
Oh, that's a good question. I think August 20th or something like that. Yeah, somewhere in that window. Yeah,
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
you know, very well timed to have new music as you hit the road on what is, as I was getting ready to talk to you, I'm like, there's a bunch of 30-year things here. You know what I mean? I mean, Boy Named Goo for sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also, this KeyBank Center show, the Buffalo show, the Summer Anthem Tour stop it's like almost 30 years, close to 30 years to the day since you opened whatever it was called, that Marine Midland Arena, was it first?
Yeah, yeah, we outlasted that, didn't we?
Hell yeah, bro. You all
Outlasted
lasted
the
up.
the brand change.
Oh God, nothing is called anything to do with its city. I mean, you're on tour. How do you
Yeah.
know where you are? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, you say, "Oh, look, we're playing this place this year," and you show up, and it's the same place. Like it
Totally.
seems like it's going to be a new place, because the name changed, but they're pretty much the same places, you know. Yeah, these summer tours are pretty cool, because we've been doing these venues for years, and like through some peaks and valleys, quite honestly,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, but it seems like, there's a definite peak in what's going on right now. We're selling our biggest days right now. It's crazy.
It's huge,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
And it's huge, and it's not just nostalgia for like people our age, you know what I mean? I feel like there's
Yeah.
generations, and the music has made the jump.
Well, the funny thing is, like, what do you like? Things are different these days. It's like, is it called nostalgia when it's happening to an 18-year-old? Like,
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
right. How can it
Yeah,
be?
and it's funny. I was having a conversation with one of the guys out here the other day, and we were saying, like when I was, you know, 13 years old and listening to the Woodstock album,
Yeah,
like it wasn't a new album,
that's
you
exactly
know,
right.
but it certainly wasn't 30 years old, man. At that point, you know what I mean? Like it's just wild, man, the way the world is right now. Like I don't think these kids that are, most of the time discovering us through Iris, and then making their way back.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think they listen to this music like it's their dad's music, like we did, like
right.
Bill Haley and the Comets sounded like my
Totally.
dad's music. Yeah.
Right.
Like I don't think kids hear it that way right now.
I don't either, and I think that's
So,
really fucking cool.
like like, dude, the greatest thing, this literally happened to me this morning. My kid comes bouncing into the kitchen. And I go, what are you listening to? She goes, Guns N' Roses. Why don't they make music like this anymore? And I was like, well, I couldn't even believe it. Like she loves, Sabrina Carpenter and Demi Lovato, and like that's what she likes. Uh,
That's crazy, dude.
yeah,
But I mean, they are making music like that. You just got to look for it now.
crazy to me because like the way she finds music these days is like one day like I heard her listening to like Rainbow, and I'm like, what the hell's going on
How did
here?
she
And it's like
find it?
it was in a Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, right? Like Since You've Been Gone, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
so these songs kind of enter her life in this like weird way. Space Hog she was listening to one day, same thing, right?
Yep.
Or like she had an affinity for AC/DC. And like when I was a kid, I would play her like, like I was like, okay, my kid's gonna grow up on the Ramones, and
Totally,
then
of
like,
course.
yeah, and then like I played her the Ramones, she's like, oh, I hate this, and I was like, oh, okay, but like, I realized it's so much about how stuff enters your life, man, and like she heard Guns N' Roses, like she heard it on like some TV show that she was watching with my wife, and she found it online and she put it into Spotify and
There it is.
walked away, and then more songs started popping up, and then all of a sudden, she's learning, music. So I mean, it's really interesting the way people consume music. And I think, getting back to what we were talking about, about Iris and stuff, like I think, these kids, like a lot of these kids know that song,
Definitely.
just because they were, like what, like car seat hostages, we
Sure.
call them,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like they heard it because their parents were listening to it when they were little. But those kids are not little kids anymore, man. Like they're having kids now, and yeah, and so like, it's just always kind of been around. And I think the way the world is these days, like we just did this stagecoach show, and
Yeah.
we thought, it like, oh well, that's gonna be cool, there's gonna be a lot of people there, but we're in the the redheaded stepchild's tent, so with Neo and
Yeah.
the Bacon Brothers and Tommy James and Creed and Sammy Hagar and Backstreet Boys, just weird mishmash of songs. So we go to play, and like that's a 20 to 30 crowd right
Definitely. Yeah.
there, like for sure. And we go and we play, and we play in a tent that there's 15,000 people in, and that's amazing. Even more amazing, outside the tent there's 30,000 more people that can't get in, that are watching it on screens outside. But even more amazing than that was every single person that was there hasn't had an Instagram or TikTok account, and like was just posting. Like it all happened at once. And we sold like 15,000 tickets or something the next day. Like
That's
it's
incredible.
it's crazy,
That
man.
quickly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it's
love it,
nuts.
dude.
And yeah, yeah.
Yep. I don't know what.
For the whole tour,
So cool.
but just crazy. But like I said, these kids, like like they lock into that song, I mean, John wrote an amazing song,
It's timeless.
yeah, but B, it's it so many fortunate things have happened to that song, placements and, people singing it, on Malaysia's Got Talent and, you know, uh, you know, uh, the American Idol stuff and The
Yeah,
Voice and all these shows that it's been on, and the Marvel movie, that we got like the peak scene in that Deadpool movie,
totally.
like yeah, like this all happened at the
Huge.
same time, yeah. So I think it all really just all lined up, and and it's great to see it all kind of I don't know, come together like
Yeah,
in a timely manner for this tour, and
yeah, that
you know being paired with Dashboard, that's a huge thing. And
makes
yeah,
perfect sense. It's a good bill,
yeah,
you know. I mean, not every bill, maybe is your ideal one, but this is a good
yeah, it's
bill.
a good one. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a good one, man.
it's
Yeah,
strong. It's funny what you're saying because like whenever the music that moves you like enters your life, well, there it is. It's new. You know what I mean? Like I remember
yeah,
when the first time I heard whatever, Sticky Fingers or Abbey Road or whatever, it
yeah,
was it
yeah.
was old. It wasn't old to me, you know.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. And part of you sees that person that made that music as that person for their whole life. Like,
Totally frozen
sometimes,
forever.
yeah, sometimes it's crazy. Like when you see someone, like that, you know, made this meaningful statement, back years later, and you're like, wow, they're actually human.
They're human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Paul McCartney's still touring, and guess what? He
Yeah.
can't sing like he used to. He's human. I'm wondering if you have like I was just thinking about Boy Named Goo, and like it's an interesting period for the band. It's obviously super freaking pivotal time for the band.
Mm.
Uh, but I don't know how much you look in the rearview mirror because you're always moving pretty quickly, you know.
Yeah, I mean, doing this type of thing makes you do that
Think about it.
sometimes. Yeah, like, I don't think I would sit around myself and really do it, but we get this opportunity like this, in this interview situation sometimes to reflect upon it. Yeah, man, that was a crazy time for us, George is still in the band.
Yeah.
We were working with Armand at the time, and we had already done uh some pre-production with Armand, and it turned out that he didn't end up doing that record. This was
Oh
on
my.
Superstar Car Wash, and um, they ended up bringing in this guy Gavin McKillop, who had worked with Toad the Wet Sprocket and some other bands, to actually bring the record across the finish line. I don't think we really knew that that was the situation then. I think
Yeah.
it just sort of happened. This one we sort of knew it was going to go that way, so we went in with Armand, and we did demos for this record.
Did you
And
you already knew it was Lou Giordano or
yeah, well, we didn't, I don't know if we knew it was Lou at that moment. I think we first had to get the demos together, but we went in with the understanding that he was going to help us with the pre-production, and I think he helped us an awful lot. Like I was saying to John the other day, he's the guy that taught us, that the kick drum and the bass have to like play at the same time,
it's really better if they do.
Yeah, yeah. Like we didn't think about that stuff, so anyway, yeah. And then Lou Giordano came in, and we had already worked with an outside producer, but um, Lou was a little bit different. He was like an MIT guy,
Yeah.
and so we went out and we did the record out in the middle of like in Woodstock, out at Jay Beckenstein from Spyro Gyra's house, and it was really cool, man. John was super hands on with the budget. And, we really, that we were involved in every aspect of that record. Just because that was right when everything, like, we didn't have any money,
Yeah.
but we sort of had access to situations that could allow us to kind of do some things that were kind of special and different. And um but Name hadn't come out yet,
Yeah.
So nobody really cared about what we were doing. Pat did a little,
Yeah.
like he'd, he'd hate to hear that, by the way. No, no, I mean, Pat did. There were some folks who were in our world, at that point, but I don't think anybody was looking at us to do the next big thing or anything like that. We are the normal had come out that got some nominal praise, but I think
I
people
love
thought,
that record, man.
yeah, but like in the mainstream, I
I get
think,
it.
of radio and the music industry, I think people thought that maybe that song was sort of like we were sort of, had a little bit of Westerberg in our sails for that song, and it didn't even really do all that well. It did okay, but like, it wasn't like a smash or anything like
Right.
that, Yeah, yeah. But yeah, but that was a turning point, for sure for the band,
Definitely.
there, like people started showing up to the shows at that point, there were more people at the shows. A lot of them were a little confused
Yeah.
coming to see a band that had already been together for 20 years and, you know, or 15 years, whatever it was, pulling together, from being a three-piece, band of, I don't even know what to call the band we were, but from being that band, to being this band that all of a sudden had a ballad on the radio,
Yeah.
and
It happened so
we
quickly.
and we struggled with that too, man. Like that was a struggle. Straight to like definitely during We Are the Normal, like definitely during Name, like it was tough. And even into Iris and stuff, it's like, people still like didn't get it. They come see us and be like, what the F is going on here, man? And then we close out the night, with what they expected. But by that point, they either got it or they didn't.
Well, and I mean, that's the magic of the band, in
Yeah.
my opinion. But whatever, I understand. But that record, I mean, it still had it was a great transitional record because it still sounded like, all right, there's rawness here. It still sounds like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I could
yeah.
feel we could all hear the songwriting and arrangement ideas growing.
Yeah,
It was going
yeah,
like this.
yeah. I mean, I always say you start at record one and whatever number record this next one will be,
Yeah,
14, 13,
uh,
15, whatever it is. Um,
15th studio,
like,
right?
yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like if you go 1 to 15, like
Right.
you're like, what the hell's going on here? How did this happen? But like, I don't think there was ever a moment in this band's career where people went, "Wow, wait a minute, where'd this come from?" Like I think it like the the transformation, from one phase of the band to the next phase sort of
Yeah.
felt comfortable every time. It never felt like a jolt too. And I remember when you two put out that Zoo TV
Right.
stuff. I remember people just being like, or like Neil Young putting out Trans or something,
Yeah. People
like,
freaked out.
yeah, they were like, what the hell is going on? Like, I don't think we ever had one of those moments in our career. Like, I think, it just kind of moves on to what it is next,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's really
yeah,
true.
yeah, and people always go, like, what's the next record going to sound like? And I flippantly say, it's going to sound like the next Goo Goo Dolls record, man.
Exactly. What else are you supposed to say? I don't know until we're finished. Then you'll know what it sounds like. It's a weird thing. And that's what I guess I meant by nostalgia is just I was feeling it myself because
Yeah,
I'm looking back. I'm like, I remember this happening like it was yesterday. I remember
yeah,
being at 510,
yeah,
and there was a
yeah,
small listening party and seeing
yeah,
the album art for the first time. And it
yeah.
does not seem that long ago to me, dude. So I don't,
No, no, it
it
doesn't,
must be
man.
weird for you.
Yeah, yeah. Time goes quickly, man. Like, yeah, and like, like you're asked sometime, like, like when you're playing in clubs, and then all of a sudden, you got a song on the radio, and like,
Yeah.
like what's it like when that happens? And the answer is if you're doing it right, you're so busy at that point that you don't even know what's going on. You don't even you can't even focus on what's happening right now. You're just trying to get to the next minute. It's funny today. What's today? July 15th.
15.
We started pre-production for this record the first week of June, and except for the day that I flew home to Buffalo, like one day, and then flew home the next day. So there was a 3-day chunk that we didn't play. This was like this is today is my first like free day that I've had. Like it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Like and I gotta get music is art in today. I gotta get like all this stuff in today, and it's like it's nuts. So I try to be like super, like I try to be as organized as I
Yeah.
can, about like keeping stuff together, like as time goes on. But there's a point where like you just got to stop everything else you're doing and
Yeah.
like focus, so you can kind of get your head back in the game again. It's like it's crazy, but like I said, you get that busy and you're just like moving. So that's how I know we're doing well right now because I don't have a second, man.
That's
You
awesome.
know?
Well, I don't want to take up your day off, but I want to.
No, dude. No, no, no. You're no man. You're penciled in.
Oh, I'm
We
here
can
now.
just
Huh?
sit. We can just sit here and chat, man.
I love it. Thank you. Um, well, I do want to talk about music as art, even though there's so much we can talk about the Goos forever.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the festival because it's coming up. It's like I can't believe it, but it's going to be, you're going to come off the road again and like take a plane and probably not sleep and be like, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah. 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 We gotta. Yeah. I'm out until the 17th, and then yeah, until the 17th of
Oh, so
September.
yeah, so
Yeah, and then I come home on the 17th, and uh, my wife leaves on the Shona Knife tour,
oh my
and
God.
the 18th is a
Start
day to
loading in.
start loading in. Yeah, we start loading in, and the 19th is bobblehead day
Yep.
at Bison's Field, and
Yep.
then the 20th is Music is Art. So I'm busy. I'm gonna my yeah. I'm gonna take the 21st off. Me and my daughter are gonna hang out with our dog.
You got to do those.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
schedule
man.
those in there too.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. But last year, first time at Outer Harbor, the Amphitheater B area, the Terminal B, sorry, Amphitheater. On this side of the fence, I mean, I was on the other side of the fence a little helping, but um, the fan perspective of that, like, this is badass. This is a great experience. Really easy
yeah,
to navigate, really easy to take in a lot of different stuff without it being on top of each other sonically,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was always our challenge at like when we were down at Riverworks. Like
Right.
Riverworks is so we moved into the park and we found a couple buildings kind of adjacent that we were able to use,
It's
and
also cool. Yeah.
yeah, and some streets and stuff, but the logistics were just crazy. Like every situation had its own entire set of
Yeah.
circumstances, and and it was really crazy. So, um, honestly, I liked having it down there. Like I thought the silos gave us a great opportunity. I thought the park gave us a great opportunity. Once we kind of slid into the neighborhood, I thought it was great. You know, the economics are never easy, in general. But I thought being down there, I thought was, a really great opportunity for us to do a lot of cool things. But the biggest problem was to grow. You had to find more situations, and more situations came with more things, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it just got to be a little bit too much. So, just out of coincidence, my touring schedule last year, we couldn't find a copacetic date
Right.
that was so we had to move somewhere, and I just happened to talk to Artie one day. As we were gonna do it at the Albright Knox,
Yeah.
and we had already announced that we had moved there, and done an in conjunction with Buff State,
Yep.
and
All this was in
yeah,
play. It was moving, you know.
yeah, it was all going, man. And just as we started pulling the festival together, we just they weren't comfortable with an awful lot of the things that we needed to do, to make it happen. So coincidentally, I had been talking with Artie at the same time. Artie Butchoff,
Yeah.
who the history behind, but
Yes.
for those of you who don't, was our
First
manager
manager.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he runs the town ballroom and books Terminal B, and he just wanted to bring me down there and kind of show me the area. And so just coincidentally, he brought me down the morning Chapel Roan was playing down there, who at the time I didn't even know who it was. Like
No, it's
it's
a
crazy.
miracle that that
It's
happened.
crazy a year ago, right? Like, yeah. He brings me down there and I'm looking around and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? There's all these people in sequins, like kind of hanging all over the place. And I'm
They
like,
already
wow,
knew. They already
I'm
knew.
like, this is some kind of sign, man, that like, so we started talking a little bit, and we decided to forego the headache of uh, getting into the conversations that we knew we were going to have to get into, with the Albright folks, and with their blessing and Buff State as well. We moved the festival down to Terminal B, and yeah, and it's been great down there. Like I said, sonically, like we can, there's so much space, and this year I just got some great news. Looks like Shona Knife will be here,
Yeah.
and yeah, and it looks like we've got a full concert PA that's going to be in there for it. So yeah, so I mean it's going to be a
For
big
the main
night, man,
stage.
for sure. Yeah, well, we're doing things a little differently this year. We're going to actually use the main stage for bands this year instead of having the bands up on either side in the silent disco. There, we're putting discos on either side.
Either side of the band's in Mo.
Yeah, and the band's in the middle, and then yeah, and so we'll have Pharaoh up there, and Sunday Rain will be up there, and
Michael.
yeah, and Shona Knife, and
Amazing.
Omega Red, and yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be a great night. It's gonna be a great night for sure. We got the folks from Blossom are doing the Blossom Village again. Kurt and his team of uh, artistic nomads are gonna pull together their Refringement World, which is pretty exciting. The roller skaters will be there again.
Oh, I love it.
The wrestlers will be there again. David Adamczyk is putting together a buskers area, which is going to be amazing for us this year. Songwriters Row will be active again this year. We'll have 3 setups in there with songwriters. Skate Park will be back. We'll have an actual roll-in stage for that
Oh, amazing. Out
area
front.
this year. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
exactly. Yeah.
I didn't know
And
that part.
yeah, and then we're gonna spread a little bit further towards the north, and we'll be on the other side of the Bell Slip this year with the stage over there as well. So the footprint will grow a little bit, and yeah, man, all sorts of
Our
exciting stuff
circuit.
going on. Yeah, man.
Our
Debbie
circus comes
Bellows.
back to town, man.
Yeah. Debbie Bellows doing her Music is Art Idol competition again this year, which would be great. We have an amazing cipher going on this year that we're actually moving to one of the large main stages on Lakeside Lawn. So we'll have rappers from all over the state coming in to do a cipher. Yeah, between 8 and 11.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, at the end of the night.
Are you
Yeah.
expecting more like out of town? It sounds like there's more out of town stuff this year.
Yeah, a little bit. Green Jello
Yeah.
is coming back again. They're doing a set. Yeah. Like I said, Shona Knife just happens to be the second night of their tour. They're playing Riot Fest the day before,
Sick.
and then they're coming, and then they're back to Boston the next night. So they're making a couple long drives to make the show, but they've been a staple. So when they found out that when they found out the festival was happening, they wanted to do it for sure. So we're making it happen, man.
I'm psyched. And I'm psyched for, speaking of Artie, this show, the KeyBank Center show, working with Marcel, right? I mean, like I love
Yeah.
full circle things. Marcel Timo, for people who don't know, he'll hate it that I mentioned his name probably, but
I've been friends with Marcel since since he wore lace stockings on his arms, man. You know.
I'm so glad you said it. Well, I love it, man, and that makes it a really an even more special gig. It feels really like a Buffalo homecoming, even though you guys never ignore us.
Yeah,
This is
no,
a cool
no.
show, man.
This is gonna be a good one, man. We're super excited. Darian's the actual stop on this
Right.
run, and we've done tons and tons of great shows there, but I don't know, man. There's just something about playing in Buffalo, in the city proper that we love, and we visited a couple other options, honestly,
Yeah.
before we landed back at KeyBank again. We looked at Pilot Field, and we looked at or not Pilot Field. What is it called now?
Sailing Field.
Sailing Field, yes.
The place where the Bisons play.
which I love, by the way. I do. I love Salins, man. They've been huge supporters of Music is Art over the years.
I'm in, man.
Yeah.
That's a Buffalo thing too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, man, they snap when you bite into them.
They totally do.
They
bite you back.
We looked at Salem Field and we looked at maybe doing it down in the harbor, but the infrastructures were a little bit too much. And the great thing about doing a show inside, like we're not quite an arena band, like we could go out like many bands do and play arenas, but we would be playing to half full arenas, 3/4 full arenas. We don't want to do that. Like we want to play to full houses full of people that are having a blast, so that's what we've chosen to do. Buffalo's a little bit different of a story, as is Phoenix and where it's 118 in Palm Springs, and we are going to be playing some hot ones this year, but the first 3 are inside. But being in a contained situation like that, if you can sell enough tickets to make it awesome, it's like it's always an amazing show. Always. Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, I appreciate your time. I love talking to you. And I look forward
absolutely
to you, man. I guess it won't be till Music is Art, but I'll catch you.
Yeah, well, I'll actually be back for the guitar fundraiser.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is August 7th, maybe
August
somewhere
7th.
in that.
Yeah, I was just reading an email about it. So yeah.
So if you get a chance,
I'll be there. I'll see you at that.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Today's episode of Why Music Matters is brought to you by 42 North Brewing Company. 42 North believes in listening locally and drinking locally. If you're out at a live music venue, ask for 42 North. And if you're a venue owner, you might want to think about adding 42 North to your lineup of taps. And maybe I'll see you out there at a gig. If so, maybe I'll buy you a 42 North Borderland or a Day Trekker. First one's on me.